Members of the Azanian People's Organization are picketing outside Belinda Magor's residence in Boksburg. Magor's voice note on her defense of pit bulls went viral on social media last week. She was arrested on Saturday after a criminal case was opened against her. Magor is expected to appear in court in March next year after she was released on warning for allegedly calling black people rapists, thieves, and for calling them to be killed. For more now, I cross to my colleague and SABC News senior reporter, CHRISELDA LEWIS. CHRISELDA, good afternoon. What is the mood there? Have we had any sighting of any of the residents of that complex or Ms. Magor herself?
Well, at this particular stage, members of AZAPO are still here at this complex where it's believed Belinda Magor was staying, but at least for what we know from the internet was that the address that is listed on the internet indicates that she was either running a business from here or also staying on these premises. However, residents who stay here have said they don't know who she is. A bit earlier on, some of the residents, Diabo, who had come out to address members of AZAPO and the picketers here said they don't know who Belinda Magor is, and in fact, they've not heard of her name. They're also not seem to have gotten wind on social media or on the news about Belinda Magor and the sentiments that she had shared. You would see some of the comments that are being shared here. Racism is a spit on our hospitality, substance protect and serve racism is a spit on our hospitality. That's just some of the sentiment that is being shared here. If we move towards this direction, it says we won't tolerate racism and racists. So many of the residents who were here said that they don't know who Belinda Magor is. Also, private security had been brought in here. We understand this due to there being a school that is just across the road from this particular picket that is taking place. I'm going to take you towards that particular direction there where you see there are members of the South African Police Service that have been brought in, and just to ensure that the picketers don't go inside this complex. There had been a request a bit earlier on to ask whether they could have one person go inside to satisfy themselves that the information that we're receiving that Belinda Magor does not live here is indeed correct. But as you can see here, the picket continues here this afternoon. And, the general sentiment that has been shared on social media and by black South Africans is that they're tired of the remarks that are being made, by some white individuals in the country. And they say that they want the law to really take its course when it comes to, sentiments or sentiments that are shared by certain white individuals in this country. And I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be here at the moment. You see them heading towards where the police are at this particular stage. It's been very peaceful. A message clearly being sent here this afternoon. And Diabo, you would recall that a case had been opened of criminal injury against Belinda Magor, but that particular matter will now be heard in April next year, in March next year, I beg your pardon. And that was a case of criminal injury. She was arrested and also then released on warning. But AZAPO says it's also opened a case against her, and that is a case of criminal injury and inciting violence. They say they're hoping for an arrest to be made anytime soon. They say with regard to that case that they have opened, they've not been able to get anywhere further than the gates that we've seen here this morning. And I guess police presence here is only but just to make sure, that there is a semblance of, not going into this particular complex, because obviously that would mean entering the premises without permission. From what we've heard from the residents here, is that they are adamant that Belinda Magor does not live here. We also saw some reports from the Sowetan newspaper indicating that the landlord of Belinda Magor had also, evicted her from the premises. We're not sure if this is the premises, because what we've certainly heard from AZAPO and what they say they've investigated in terms of where she lives, the residents here behind us are saying that she does not live here.
Thank you so much, CHRISELDA Lewis, for that update.